Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. The state government has boosted financial assistance for Tasmanian businesses during the pandemic. Grants have been doubled to a maximum $10,000, but some traders say more help is needed.
Salamanca's Rockwall restaurant is serving plate after plate, night after night.
I cannot stress how well business is at the moment. We're more than pleased with the way it's going.
But the same can't be said for small family businesses like Tusk in North Hobart. Owner Anne Morris says trade has plummeted since the borders opened in December.
Devastating really, and upsetting because we've tried so hard.
The local trader desperately needs financial support, but says the government's COVID payments aren't accessible for businesses less than a year old.
A complicated process anyway, for as little that you do get, and I don't think we actually qualify.
The state government's COVID-19 Business Impact Support Program has doubled to a maximum of $10,000 for traders with a 30% downturn. While traders have welcomed the move, some say assistance in the form of rent relief is needed for tenants doing it tough, but that's not likely to happen anytime soon.
Commercial rent is definitely on the increase, and that will be passed on to the tenant. It's one big circle at the moment, and it's who's left in the middle holding the parcel at the end.
We've provided land tax relief and other measures to ensure that landlords pass these sorts of savings on to tenants.
Tasmania recorded 483 new cases today, almost 100 less than the day before, and vaccine super clinics are running this weekend to arm children against COVID when school returns. Sweet relief for parents with just 4 days to go.
Safer, and really happy that they're at least getting that vaccination done.
Tasmania's vaccination rate of 5 to 11-year-olds is 12% above the national average, with 55% already receiving their first jab since the program rolled out 3 weeks ago. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian community members have raised concerns over discriminatory speech and practices potentially allowed in organisations. It follows 2 parliamentary inquiries into the federal religious discrimination bill, with reports recommending an override of the state's Anti-Discrimination Act. A local human rights lawyer says this would let down groups such as the LGBTIQ+ community and those living with a disability.
What it does is it says it's okay for some people, but only some people, to discriminate against others. And in this case, it's people who do it in the name of religion.
We do not want to see a weakening of our anti-discrimination laws. I've made a written submission to both federal parliamentary committees that have looked into this matter and made our view very, very clear.
Debate over the bill is expected to continue next week in federal parliament. Off-road vehicle tracks in the Arthur Pyman Conservation Area are set for a revamp, with the Parks and Wildlife Service releasing a development tender request for a West Coast off-road vehicle strategy. The state government says it will inform future track management and protect the region's natural values and Aboriginal heritage. The request for tender opens on February 5. A pollution alert has been issued for Port of Devonport following an oil spill last week after a cement carrier crashed into 2 tugboats. The Environment Protection Authority says some kingfish in the Mersey River may have been inside the containment area at the time, and is warning people not to fish or eat fish caught from the river at this time. Diesel and oil remain in the water. Back home, and mountain bikers are being called up to help maintain one of the state's most expansive new networks. The Wild Mersey Trails have proved to be very popular, and local councils are asking for support to help keep them in pristine condition.
There was a flurry of action at the Wild Mersey Trailhead today, like there is most weekends. Bikers came from all over the state to sample the Northwest's most delicious dirt.
They're super fun, and some of them are flowy, so I'm looking forward to it.
My favourite's probably high voltage, because it's probably the most flowy and it has the most jumps.
We've been in Derby from a couple of days before and we heard about that try and that's why we came today.
There are currently 50 kilometres of trails open, with more on the way. Taking care of it all is a lot of work and costs a lot of money. The Kentish and Latrobe councils who own the network are calling for mountain bikers to join the Wild Mersey Trail Supporter Program.
The thing about building tracks, once you build them, you've got to maintain them. Yeah, so it's no good to let them go to the pack, otherwise people won't come.
For $100, supporters will help cover the cost of the network and receive a members cap. They're also hoping businesses will come on board as sponsors.
When you drive down the main street, you see cars parked on the side road with mountain bikes on the back. It doesn't matter which time of the day it is, so they're always there.
Weekends are usually our busiest time. Obviously people are off work and are able to take advantage of the trails.
Paul Wallace opened this coffee roaster in Railton 12 months ago. It's just down the road from the trailhead and he says that's part of the reason he opened up here.
We saw that the growth that the mountain bikes could bring to the town, so we thought it's a good place to invest early and hopefully grow with it.
Tassie's growing love affair with mountain bikes helping even more towns boom. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian suburb has banded together to celebrate and acknowledge its LGBTQI+ residents. Running around in colour, organisers say it's important to welcome everyone into the community.
Running through a rainbow explosion, hand in hand, racing across the park to support their neighbours.
There's a lot more LGBTQI+ community living in this area now. So we thought it was important to celebrate everyone and say that we're all welcome.
Gagebrook's first ever colour run, hosted by local resident Michael Williams, saying he always feels supported by locals.
I come out a few years ago and started doing drag about 3 years ago, and I've been absolutely accepted by this community and especially the kids in the area.
A cause close to his mother's heart, with 2 children part of the LGBTQIA+ community.
Doesn't matter what you are, who you are, everyone's different, that's fine.
Also a co-founder of advocacy group Under One Rainbow, which started in Gagebrook, offering support for people in the area over the last 8 years.
We've done work in schools with, we're all different and that's okay, for which we won a Human Rights Award.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A nationwide touring music concert has returned to Hobart's Royal Botanical Gardens. The 2-day Somersault Festival kicking off today, showcasing Australian artists such as Missy Higgins, Birds of Tokyo, Pete Murray and John Butler. Organisers say they're glad to be back after postponing last year's event due to COVID.
It's incredible. It's something that's been taken away from us from the last couple of years, so to be back at work and to be hearing live music is a real gift.
Somersaults will return to the Gardens tomorrow with another sold-out concert. Will Magnay has led the Jack Jumpers to a 3rd straight win as the big man had his very own block party at MyState Bank Arena. The Jackies are well and truly on the march, climbing into NBL ladder into the top 5.
3 in a row. The Jack Jumpers brought up a hat-trick of wins as Josh Adams brought his usual bag of tricks.
Adams for Magnay, gets up for the flush.
Last night's 7-point victory over the Sydney Kings sent a capacity MyState Bank Arena crowd into a Friday night fever. Also pretty hot, Josh the Jet Majet's shooting.
Majet, off balance 3, that'll do.
He scored 18 for the night, leading the charge in a 14-0 second quarter run. The JJs jumped into the lead and didn't look back, benefiting from a horror shooting night from the Kings, who made only 3 of 23 from behind the arc.
The guys played, I thought, very well, especially in the second half, just in general, with just buckling down and making some plays and grinding the game out.
Player of the game, Will Magnay, was imposing at the rim.
Magnay again!
On a dominant night, he posted 4 blocks, along with 12 points and 7 rebounds.
Like I've always said, the sky's the limit for him, and the last three or four games, he's put in a lot of work, extra work. He's physically getting stronger and better, and a tremendous pick-and-roll coverage guy that anchors our defence.
Tasmania's record now stands at 5 wins and 6 losses, with the side sitting in 5th place on the NBL ladder. They now travel to play Melbourne United tomorrow afternoon. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
evening, everyone. A fine day across the state today with Launceston the top reaching 27 degrees, Burnie 22, 21 in Devonport and Hobart 20. The islands, Smithton, Friendly Beaches and Grove all 23 degrees today, 22 in Low Head and Strawn, St Helens 21 and 17 in Lyweenie. And as we can see here, mostly cloudy conditions are visible right across the state today. And further out, a broad strip of cloud can be seen extending over northern Australia. Moist onshore flow is bringing low cloud to the east coast of the country, while the rest of Australia is mostly cloud-free. Tomorrow, a large high to the south of Tasmania is extending ridges over the mainland, with troughs dominating northern and western sections of the continent. And we'll see southeast to northeasterly winds tomorrow, 10 to 20 knots, reaching up to 25 knots in the northwest, but lighter and more variable in the central west. Mostly sunny and 22 in Hobart tomorrow, Richmond 24, Ooze partly cloudy and 26. 27 and mostly sunny in Launceston, 21 in Devonport, Deloraine reaching 23. 22 degrees in Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy and 24 in Strawn, Curry 23 degrees. And looking at the east, 21 in St Helens, 20 and partly cloudy in Swansea and 23 in Whitemark. And the UV tomorrow is very high 10s across the state, with sunset expected at 8:30 p.m. Looking on to Monday, fine apart from the chance of showers about the northeast. A chance of showers about the east and northwest on Tuesday, fine elsewhere. And on Wednesday, showers about western, northwestern and central areas. Partly cloudy in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, Melbourne 29, a shower or two and 24 in Sydney and 30 degrees in Cairns and Alice Springs. And currently Hobart 18 and mostly cloudy, 22 and mostly cloudy in Launceston and Devonport 20 and partly cloudy. And Lou, our Aussies are up next at the Winter Olympics.
And that's all your news for tonight. Have a lovely evening. Good night.